Just read about Damon Albarn from Blur complaining at Coachella because people weren't sufficiently into the band. It's like, what are you doing playing there anyway? That's a fucking place for Instagram whores and their rich boyfriends. It's not a serious like fucking music venture. It's for like it's bands going to get a nice payday, and a bunch of people don't watch them, and if they do, they film them on their phones and basically just take pictures of them themselves standing out there. That's it. What are you yelling about, mate? Speaking of Instagram whores, the YouTube's getting like that now too. Every time I open YouTube, I got like a wall of shorts of girls showing boobs and doing all this stuff. I don't know how it got into my algorithm. Maybe because I looked at one or two at some point. No, I try not to look at that stuff. I think it's like I've gotten so weird in my older age. Like I just feel it's disrespectful to Nia to like look at other women with lust, like the Bible says. Like if you even look at someone like that, then you might as well have done it. That's what they say. I mean, that's extreme, right? But as someone that practices retention, I found this kind of a good thing to stick to. And because of that, I can't really even go on Instagram anymore. The way I post to all my accounts is I go to my from my gallery where I have photos. If I have an image I want to put on there, I post it from the gallery. It gives me the option to go to the feed and then post to all my different accounts. Yeah, because I mean, I open Instagram. Occasionally I do to, you know, check and see what's going on there, answer some comments or whatever. And that's just all it is. It's all whores. All whores of Babylon. And it's hard to look away, you know, sometimes. But, you know, I've been doing what with that, like staying away from it, just by not going on to Instagram. But now it's like all over YouTube. And I get it. I mean, it makes money, so you're going to see it as long as it generates income for someone. Of course, they're going to do it. That's just how it is. But I don't know. Is there a filter I can use or something? I got to figure that out. I just don't want to see it. I don't want to even look at it. I become a prudish person, I guess. Just woke up from some really weird dreams. These end time dreams, man. I will say one thing to keep in mind though, as weird as they are, one thing you'll notice, you never feel your body. Now you may, like in some scenarios, have to look at your hands or notice your body, but the way you move, when you move in your dreams, when you're moving along from place to place, you're not thinking about any aches and pains. You're not considering, how you doing, buddy? You're not considering, some people just stop and like stare at me, like you know how kids do that? They'll just like look and keep looking and looking. Kids and certain kinds of other people do that. But the, yeah, you don't really feel your body. At least I don't. It's not like an issue. I just want to go over there, I go over there. I want to pick that up and pick that up. It's in my hand. That's from what I understand how we really are, how we really operate as energy beings. We just kind of, we want to be over there, we go over there. We want to get our fruit off a tree, it's in our hand. You know, there's none of this like limbs. And when I started realizing that about 5 years ago, that the case was we aren't these bodies, we're separate from them, and these are just antenna we broadcast to so that we can interact with this area. I started to low-key resent my arms and legs because they're like lanky, they get in the way, I knock shit over. I get so mad when I knock shit over in the house. Start yelling at the house. Mia's like, shut up. What are you, you're crazy. I'm like, I'm not mad at you. I'm just mad, you know, or I'll yell at inanimate objects. I was having a problem with my phone no, not my phone. The light controller. The house, they have these different controllers that turn the lights on. And it wasn't working. So I started yelling at it and smashing it. And it may seem stupid, but that fucking thing's not gonna fuck with me again. You know, you grab that controller, whatever inanimate object you're using, and you put the fear of God in it, and it's gonna say, wow, fuck, I better not fuck with that guy. And next time you use it, see what happens. You're the human, that's a fucking machine, you know? I mean, in the case of a controller, yeah, it's pretty smart because it's got a battery in it, but you're still superior to the piece of equipment. See, sometimes you have to let them know. They can't hurt you. Don't be afraid of them. Did I go on a law? Yeah, I know I'm going. I just had to think about where I'm going. I'm going to Ross to try to get turmeric again. I take it every day. I've been taking it every day for years. It does a lot of good stuff for you. It's an anti-inflammatory. They call it the magic spice because of all the stuff that it does. It does so much stuff. Sometimes I'll mix a spoonful into water and drink it. Other times I do the throw and go method, where I just take a spoonful and I chase that with water. But yeah, usually 1 to 2 spoonfuls a day. It's supposed to aid in decalcifying your pineal gland. Pineal gland. I think that's a different thing. Pineal gland. Does it? I don't know. It's just what they say. You know, but at the same time, you're drinking, you know, water with fluoride in it, so yeah, you're probably eating each other out. That's the thing that fucks with you most is everything in your environment. It's always kind of working against you. Sometimes you just grab your environment and yell at it, show who's boss, you know. God, I love Caucasians. I was just walking down the street and this couple's like, sir. I'm like, what? Like, you dropped some money. And I dropped some money out of my pocket. I'm like, anybody else. Am I lying? Am I making it up? I don't think so. You know, that's 50 years of life experience. It isn't even because, like, you know, people are more inclined to be bad people. It's just that everyone hates Caucasians so much these days. Any perceived W they can get over them. It's not even their fault, it's just the culture. You know, it wasn't always that way though. I lived in a time, I grew up in a time when everybody was pretty much cool with each other. You know, after the civil rights movement, I know it's hard for people to believe, but things were pretty chill. Like for a long time. Like there were no problems. Now, of course, racism existed in different quarters or areas or maybe parts of the country, but it wasn't part of the mainstream culture like it is now. It's a constant civil war between races, you know. Especially they love the black and white thing. Blacks and whites. That's why I call people Africans and Caucasians. I don't buy into their paradigm. When they set up a paradigm for you, it's important to avoid it if you can, you know. Just like anything they set up, if they sort of present something to you, it's best to avoid it. Like the whole, like, just for instance, the flat earth thing. It's like, are you flat earth or are you round earth? It's like I'm neither. I don't know what it is. Could be a fucking, I don't know. I couldn't come up with anything. I'm sorry. My articulation machine. You know what? It's early. It's early and doing my best here. But yeah, it's you don't want to ever buy into their paradigms. This whole thing about, did the moon landing happen or did it not happen? Well, by answering that question, you're implying that there's a possible space program, and I don't think there is. I think there's the appearance of one, and they launder money, but that's about it. You know, yeah, so I was talking about dreams earlier, and I've been having these dreams, like, I call them Anton's dreams, because they're always some kind of real dramatic kind of test. Dreams are like tests. They're like little scenarios you have to play through, and you're trying to solve something, or at least in my experience, it seems to be the way it is. And when you go to these places, I mean, they're places you go. These aren't mini movies invented by your mind. That's fucking total horseshit. What is you leave your body when you're dreaming, but you stay connected by that little cord there. I know I've shown this like 500 times, but you know, every few months someone new wanders in here. So I torture the rest of you, I guess. I don't know, I'm sorry. But what it is you're going to places, like you're going to different scenarios, and a lot of times, like, I've noticed when I return to a place, I can use the information that I gained the last time I was there, because since I've been gone, things have changed. It's not exactly the same. I've given an example of this house I go to in my dreams occasionally. It's a house I used to live in, and one time I was there during a dream, and they were doing some work on the front of the house. They were like re-spacing it, and they had a bunch of scaffolding and shit there. And a couple times I went there in dreams, it was like that. And then one dream I went there, and it was all done. I remember looking at it and going, oh wow, you finally finished this thing. Like, what the fuck is that? That's not my mind doing that. And the people that you meet, like last night I was having this situation where, and this is a common scenario for me, a lot of my puzzles or problems or things I have to solve is me trapped in a place, not like being held captive, but like stuck inside a place trying to find my way out. I don't know if it's a metaphor for something, but you know, almost like a big warehouse, or this one was like a store, like, you know, those portions of old department stores that would sell outdoor shit, like grills and like umbrella sets and furniture, like outdoor stuff. It was like a big one of those. It was more like a convention of companies showing their outdoor furniture wares. I don't know why. I don't know what it was. I ended up there. I couldn't find my way out, and I kept asking people where the exit was, and they were telling me, like, oh, it's right over there. It's the one next to the right. To the right. See that big open door? And I do like I always do with people, even here. I go, oh yeah. And then I walk away and I go, what the fuck was he talking about? And then I get over there and I have to start asking people in that area. Had a little bit of that going on, but these people I meet, they are their own people. These aren't figments of, I didn't create all these people. And when I have interactions with them, they distinctly feel like their own people. Kind of like the way things are here. They're doing their own thing. You know, these guys in this case were working for whatever company they were displaying their outdoor furniture for, whatever the fuck it was. And yeah, I didn't, you don't create any of that stuff. You're just out of your body, floating around. And the fact that you're out of the body is why you don't have to worry about the body. You know, because here it's like, did I step on something? Oh, I gotta reach this thing over here. I gotta stretch my arm out. Like I was saying earlier too, the more I've thought about this, come around to this idea more, realize it's indeed what's happening. I feel like all this stuff here, I mean, the more that it sucks. Where's the guy in the hurry for? Yeah, these guys are dangerous. The construction dudes around here. I'm sure they're nice guys, but I usually try to stay away the fuck out of their way. I've explained why. I explained why all that goes on. But yeah, you don't have to worry about stuff like that. It's never a concern. I think back upon my, dream scenarios, and I was in a train, underground train system, and I was just moving through the area, and I didn't have to worry about making corners or if I was going to fit through things. I just kind of willed myself there. I just kind of moved almost like a ghost, because that's kind of what you are. You're like a ball of energy. That's and the way you communicate with people, you're not really talking. In dreams, it feels effortless. Everything is effortless. It's not hard to come up with words, because even though you may think you're talking in your dream, or you think you're hearing voices, you're communicating without speaking. That's closer to what you are. You're way closer to what you are when you're dreaming than when you are here. Here, everything is just kind of uncomfortable and gushy, and your legs are all like, and I'm not saying like even because I'm a geriatric person, my legs are all fucked up, but even when they weren't fucked up, you have to worry about just the limitations of like your reach, or you don't have to do that when you're in a dream state. And that is that's what I feel like it is. It feels like that's how we really are when we're in our real form. This is from what I understand, what I've gathered, it's a very low density kind of reality, quote unquote, where we are. It's really nothing. I mean, there's nothing here. Atoms that make up everything, the building blocks of everything, are 99% empty. And the reason they have to have it 99% is just they have to have that little percent so they can quantify it at least. Otherwise, how do you measure nothing? But it really is nothing. It's like dense energy, or it gives the illusion of density, which makes it seem like there's material things here. Pretty crazy. Matter is made up, of course, of 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, and 6 protons. What does that make? That's right, 69. No, you know what I mean? I mean, how it's spelled on everything. Just like God spells his name on a lot of stuff. So does Namdak. But his name's kind of spelled on all the stuff you would think it would be spelled on, and God's name is spelled on all the stuff you think his would be. Our cells are signed by God, basically. They have his name on them. Kind of, in a way, the signature of the divine. His property is tagged. I was just watching something last night about geneticists trying to splice animals and human DNA, and some the fruits of these experiments washing up on the shore in Manhattan over the years. I don't know what they're doing that for. The video kind of posited that they were making shells for demons, which would make sense, because if they could make them bodies, right, they wouldn't have to jump around in people's bodies all the time. They'd have something they could go right into, But and they can do human cloning, and so why couldn't they put them in those bodies? I don't know, who's that guy, Marshall? Is it David Marshall? That guy that had all that weird information about the cloning stuff. I don't know what his deal is. He's got an interesting perspective on stuff. It's David Marshall. He showed up on the internet like, 8 years ago, and said he was an escapee from the cloning centers. Pretty wild story. And some of his stuff kind of, some of his stuff rings true to me. Not all of it, but there's some of it there that I hear him say that's like, well, yeah, I guess that sounds like that could be real. So yeah, they have that technology to be able to do that, I don't know. I don't know why they'd be splicing it with animals, unless they're trying to create some kind of creatures, but The animals are kind of making chimera type creatures. The kind of stuff you hear about in fables and old myths and stuff. So maybe they're doing that back then. I think I've raised more questions than answers here today, and that's not unusual. But yeah, maybe later when I come back, I'll have some answers. I'm gonna bet against not having any answers, but you know, hope springs, what have you. Don't blame the teacher, blame the school. Water looks rough. The end of the race, pretty much. It's been going since like, I think 6 a.m. So it's kind of wrapping up now. But yeah, the ocean looking stormy.